ask, is there anyone in our audience tonight who owes their life to Nicholas Winton? If so, could you stand up, please?
In the late 1930s, Hitler's Munich Agreement over the Sudetenland caused terror in Czechoslovakia, especially for the Jews. Nicholas Winton went to Prague, quickly recognized the dilemma of the Jewish children and how their rights were being oppressed. He organized trains, obtained visas, and ensured the children's safety and survival, all while risking his own life. His successful endeavors highlighted the moral duty of nations to protect those in need. Winton arranged for 8 trains to depart so that the children could live the lives they deserved. The Munich Agreement was signed on September 30th, 1938, by Britain, France, Italy, and German authorities. This agreement authorized Nazi Germany to annex the Sudetenland, a region of Czechoslovakia. Upon returning to London after meeting with Hitler in Munich, a friendly crowd warmly greeted British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain. He and French Prime Minister Edouard Daladier had attended a conference where they revealed Hitler's demands. Chamberlain and Daladier believed that revealing Hitler's demands would prevent another war. However, this policy ultimately encouraged Hitler, leading to additional aggression for Czechoslovakia to cede the Sudetenland to Germany. In return, Hitler assured the Western Allies that he had no added terrestrial endeavors. Standing on the airport tarmac, Chamberlain read from a statement he and Hitler had signed that morning.
We regard the agreement signed last night and the Anglo-German naval agreement as symbolic of the desire of our two peoples never to go to war with one another again. We are resolved that the method of consultation shall be the method adopted to deal with any other questions that may concern our two countries, and we are determined to continue our efforts to remove possible sources of difference and thus to contribute to assure the peace of Europe.
In early October 1938, German troops started occupying the Sudetenland after the Munich Agreement. This was a big step in Hitler's expansion plans. On November 9, 1938, an event known as Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass, occurred, ostensibly an unplanned outburst of anti-Jewish sentiment. Kristallnacht was in reality a state-sponsored campaign of vandalism and arson, orchestrated by Nazi leaders with Hitler's approval. As night fell on November 9, 1938, shattering glass echoed through cities across Germany and parts of Austria. Hundreds of synagogues were set on fire, thousands of Jewish businesses were vandalized, and Jewish cemeteries were wrecked. Homes were invaded, and Jewish families were terrorized. Disturbingly, police officers and firefighters did not intervene. Police officers failed to protect Jewish citizens and their properties, and firefighters did not extinguish the fires anglifying synagogues. By the end of this orchestrated rampage, Nazi stormtroopers had destroyed 7,000 Jewish businesses, set more than 900 synagogues on fire, killed 91 Jews, and imprisoned approximately 30,000 Jewish men, subsequently transporting them to concentration camps.
1,400 synagogues were burned that night. Stores have been vandalized and Jews were arrested and killed that night.
30,000 Jewish men were taken to concentration camps. And of course, all the synagogues in Germany, Austria, and the by then occupied part of Czechoslovakia, Sudetenland, were burned down.
Ann Keelman, a Kristallnacht survivor, recalls a horrific memory. We heard much shouting and screaming. My mother said I'm not to open the windows or leave the house or go to school. Something terrible is happening. There are fires everywhere. Sir Nicholas George Winton, a 29-year-old stockbroker from England, was about to embark on a skiing trip to Switzerland. But Winton received a phone call from his friend Martin Blake, an instructional master at the Westminster School in London. Martin Blake had traveled to Prague on behalf of the British Committee for Refugees from Czechoslovakia. Blake invited Winton, saying, "I have a most interesting assignment, and I need your help. Don't bother bringing your skis." Winton and Blake had originally planned a skiing trip with Westminster students. Winton had previously enjoyed these skiing trips, but Blake informed him that he was not going this time. Instead, Blake went to Prague and suggested that Winton follow him. Fascinated by the opportunity and with 2 weeks off work, Winton did not mind changing his plans. In December 1938, Nicholas Winton traveled to Prague. Deeply moved by the dire situation he witnessed, he was determined to do something. He transferred his hotel room into an office and began collecting lists of children needing rescue.
Every family is sending or finding £50 for each child, and that money is there so that if we have to go to a different country, not England, you'll be able to join us. Wherever we are, we've sent the money with Mr. Winton, and he's got photographs, and he's going to arrange for children from Czechoslovakia to be able to go to England.
Winton's efforts required meticulous planning. He worked hard to secure the required visas, pinpoint foster homes in Britain, and arrange for the children's transportation. Winton had several strategies to reach the families of the children. He placed advertisement in newspapers and collaborated with Jewish communities to spread the word about the evacuation. His relentless outreach efforts were crucial in informing parents about the possibility of sending their children to safety in Britain. Winton was not the only one doing something. Others helped and worked hard to make this possibility. For instance, we had Doreen Warner. She helped the Jewish refugees escape from Czechoslovakia, organized transportation, and found places of shelter for them. Another important figure was Trevor Chadwick. After Winton had to return to London, he took over many everyday operations of organizing the transports. His work was vital in maintaining the speed of the kinder transport efforts. Sir Nicholas Winton himself even commented that Chadwick was the real hero, as he did the more difficult and dangerous work after the Nazis invaded. He deserved all the praise.
When we got to the Dutch border 24 hours later, the older ones cheered because we were out of reach of the Nazis. To me, it was just something significant, but I didn't know what.
Winton organized 8 trains between March and August 1939 to harbor 669 children from Prague to London. The 9th and final kinder transport train, which was prepared to bring 259 children, was planned to leave on September 1st, 1939. The same day, Germany invaded Poland, forcing the borders to close and preventing the train from departing. Basically, the outbreak of World War II halted the operation. Tragically, most of the children on that train probably perished in the concentration camps. Winton is known as the British Schindler for his work to save children from the Holocaust. The tireless efforts of Winton and his colleagues like Trevor Chadwick and Doreen Warner and many other anonymous people who meticulously gathered lists and escorted the children were instrumental in saving these young lives from a mournful future. During World War II, Winton served as an ambulance driver and later joined the RAF, Royal Air Force. Post-war, Winton worked at the International Bank in Paris, where he met his wife, Greta. He and Greta shared 3 children, Barbara, Nicholas, and Reuben Winton. When Winton went on a retirement, it was marked by voluntary work, including a 40-year term as president of the Maidenhead branch of MenCap and co-funding the Abbeyfield Maidenhead Society. Despite his monumental actions, Winton remained humble, believing he had done nothing extraordinary. His actions were not widely known until he attempted to donate his records to an archive, leading to his appearance on the TV show That's Life. There, he was unexpectedly reunited with some of the children he saved. Nicholas Winton's daughter, Barbara Winton, wrote 2 books, If It's Not Impossible and One Life, to share the pulchritudinous story of her father's life and heroic efforts during World War II. These books both discuss Winton's personal experiences and profound impacts on the lives of the children. Winton was awarded a knighthood by Queen Elizabeth II in 2003. Winton was bestowed with many awards, but the most noteworthy was the Order of the White Lion, the highest honor granted by the Czech Republic, which acknowledged his remarkable boldness. Unfortunately, Nicholas Winton passed away on July 1st, 2015 at 106 years old, but his legacy will live on forever.
But what made you think you could do it?
I
work on the motto that if something's not impossible, there must be a way of doing it.